All right, sound like a plan? Sound like a plan? Yes, sir, no, sir, maybe, sir. Or is my internet? You hearing me? You hearing me?
Yes, sir.
All right, good. No, my internet was getting trouble for a second there. All right. I'm put my glasses on, so I'm not blind. May 2020. Everybody here, right? Anthony, you there? I don't know, Annalise there. Anthony, you there?
Oh,
All
yes,
right.
sir.
Sayan, you there?
Yes, sir.
Giovanna? Giovanna, you there? All right. JL, are you there? Karima?
Yes, sir.
All right. And Jadon is joining now. Hi, Jadon, you there as well? Nice. Cyan,
Yes.
how you answer the first one for me? A non-trading organization is mainly concerned with what? Non-trading. As the hint. Cyan. Cyan, you there? Cyan, I'd literally just confirm it today is there. Alright, Karima, can you do the first one? Or is it my internet? You hearing me? Anybody hearing me? Annalise, are you there? Can you do the first one?
So the answer would be D.
D. Provide various services to members. So you see this how we start there, that's not what we're doing, huh? We just talk to everybody individually, ask if everybody available, and then I end up talking to myself when I call on to people. We need this 2026. I want everybody to participate. If you're not sure, say you're not sure. Do just stay quiet, right? It will make this last lot much longer than it needs to last. And it will be unfair to everybody else. So I need the participation, please. Cyan, are you there? Cyan, are you there? Number two, the term accounting refers to what? Karima. Karima,
So is it C?
record analyzing and interpreting of business information. Good job. So a lot of people that say D. Right? Those are examples of accounting. That's not what a definition of accounting is, right? C is the better answer. Number three, rent expense, which is still owing at the end of the period, must be debited in the profit and loss account and shown in the balance sheet as a liability. Which accounting concept does this represent? Cyan, are you there now? Yeah, 1 second. Alright. Cyan to the data given trouble. Giovanna, can you do number 3? Alright, Giovanna's typing. She says the answer is A, which is correct. It is the accruals concept. When the rent is still owing and you have to record it in the profit and loss account still, and then you record it in the balance sheet as a liability. Good. Number 4. During the year, a company bought stationery for 220 and used 120 worth of it. What figure would be posted to the profit and loss account and presented in the expenditure for stationery? Jaden, what do you think it is? Jaden, you there?
Yes.
Alright. So they bought 220 and they used 120 of it. Which one?
Yes.
Yeah, no problem.
It would be 100.
100. So it would actually be, sorry? Oh, it will actually be the 120. So the amount that was meant for the period is the amount you recorded in the profit and loss account. So if you use 120, that means 120 was meant for the period. So that's what you use. That's what you're going to record in the profit and loss account. Number 5 refers to the following balances at the end of the financial period. And they want to know what is the total amount for assets. Antonil, can you do number 5?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Sir, the answer is C.
C, correct,
Yes.
because the motor vehicle, the receivables, and the building would all add up to 14,000. Good job. Number 6, which of the following list of current assets is arranged in order of liquidity? JL. Let's see. That was quick. JL says B, which is correct. Order of liquidity, the one that is easiest to change to cash, that's where you're listing first. And well, this is the only one that has cash first. So automatically, you know that is the answer. Number 7, the summarized position of Foster and Scott Limited is as follows, and they want to know how much is capital. Not how much is working capital, how much is capital. 1 second, y'all. Sorry about that. Annalise?
B.
B. All right. So the formula for capital is total assets minus total liabilities. If they had asked for working capital, then it would have been current assets minus current liabilities. But if it's just capital, your total assets, which will be 300,000, minus your liabilities, which will be the 60,000 and the 150. And you do that, you get 90,000. Good job. Number 8 refers to the following information. This is a question that comes very frequently. This is how they will bring ratios, most likely. One of the ways, I should say. Karima, what does the 529,800 represent?
So can you repeat, please? My wife, I giving a little trouble, so you're breaking up.
Oh, number 8. What do you get for number 8? What you get for number 8, Karima? They want to know what does the 529,800 represent in this equation.
So A, total sales.
Correct. It really is supposed to be net sales, but total sales is the best answer here. In the last exam, 2025, when they brought over the same question, they actually changed the answer to net sales. Because that really is supposed to be the answer. Good job. Number 9, which the following assets were found in the statement of financial position of a retailer. What would be the best order if the assets were arranged in order of permanence? So this is the opposite of liquidity. Order of liquidity, the one that is easiest to change to cash, goes first. Order of permanence, the one that is hardest to change to cash, goes first. JL, can you do this one? JL has answered quick, boy. JL says D, and D is correct as well. Good job. Number 10. Which of the following items does not appear in the cash book? This is a question that comes real often. Jaden, think you can handle this one? Which one does not appear in the cash book? Let's confirm that you're there, Jaden.
Yes, I.
Alright. So remember, the cash book records all cash and bank transactions. So it's basically which one of these is not a cash or bank transaction.
That would be the payment for goods.
If you're paying for goods, that means you're spending cash most likely. Or you're paying with a check, but that will be a bank transaction as well. So which one of these is not spending any money or receiving any money?
Oh, BBC.
B, correct. Goods sold on credit. If you sell it on credit, that means no money passes yet, right? Nice. So that's the first 10. Number 11 now. In a cooperative society, the daily affairs are administered by. This question has come fairly often. I'll let Chanel join in. I'll let Chanel answer this one as she joins. Hi, Chanel.
Good morning, sir.
Morning. Can you do number 11 as you hear? In a cooperative society, the daily affairs are administered by.
A majority of shareholders?
Mm-mm. They would help when it comes to the appointment of who is making the decisions, but it is actually the persons elected or appointed to do so. So the shareholders would vote on who's elected or appointed to do so, but the people who are elected or appointed to handle the daily affairs would be the ones that handle the daily affairs. Number 12, Antonil. Credit notes issued for goods returned by a customer would be entered firstly in the what?
Return inward.
Very good. And the customer, just think about what direction the goods going. If customers return any goods, then the goods are coming back into the company, that's return inwards. If we return the goods, then the goods are going out of the company, return outwards. Good job. Number 13, Mrs. White, a grocer, bought a computer on credit from Tan Company. In Miss White's books, which of the following journal entries will be made for this transaction? Annalise.
D.
D. It debit the computer because the assets increase, and it credit Tan Company because that's where you bought it on credit from. Nice. Number 14, a ratios question. You need to know what the asset test ratio indicates. So firstly, I'm going to give you all the little help here. The asset test ratio is current assets minus inventory divided by current liabilities. So with that in mind, what would the answer be here, Karima?
So you can repeat what I said, please.
I put the formula for the asset test ratio on the board. Current assets minus inventory divided by current liabilities. And the asking, the asset test ratio indicates what? What do you think the answer is? A, B, C, or D?
I think the answer would be A.
And you would be correct. Net
Okay.
current assets less inventory, able to pay your current liabilities. That's exactly what you're checking with your asset test ratio. You want to see how much of your current assets you could use to pay your current liabilities without counting the goods that you're selling. Number 15, which of the following accounts is not nominal? JL. Which one of these is not nominal? Nominal accounts are the intangible accounts. Which one of these is not intangible? JL. And JL says A, and A is correct. Furniture is very tangible. I believe we are all using furniture right now. We're all touching furniture right now. Number 16. Which of the following accounts are usually transferred to the trading and profit and loss account? So the only thing that won't go in the trading and profit and loss account is the assets, liabilities, capital, and drawings. So you're looking for an answer that doesn't have assets, liabilities, capital, or drawings in it. Giovanna. Giovanna says C, and as you can see, that is correct. It doesn't have any assets, liabilities, capital, or drawings in that answer. Number 17. Which of the following items are capital expenditure? Remember, capital expenditure is when you purchase fixed assets. Anthony?
Yes, sir.
What's your answer for number 17? Hi, Gianna.
Repairs.
Repairs will be a capital expenditure. Remember, capital expenditure is when you purchase or improve fixed assets, not when you repair them.
It would be purchase of machinery.
Sorry?
Purchase of machinery.
Right. Number 18. In order to avoid writing numerous checks of small amounts, a firm may set up a what? Gianna, what do you think this answer would be? To avoid writing numerous checks of small amounts, what could a firm set up?
Petty cash fund.
A petty cash fund is correct. Good job. Number 19. It's come very, very often. Annalise, you remember the answer for this one?
C.
So, they want to know what is your total sales. Mrs. Abel and Mrs. Blue, they buy goods from Mr. Kane. That would be sales for Mr. Kane. Another customer buys goods from Mr. Kane. That would be sales for Mr. Kane as well. So that's 550, 50, and 75, which adds up to 675. Then Mr. Kane took goods out of the business for himself for 500. That would not be sales. That would be considered drawings. That's why you don't add it to the total sales figure. Number 20 now. Mr. Ram, a shoemaker, bought a motor van for $11,000 cash. In recording this transaction, what should he do? Giovanna. What should he do for this one? See, Giovanna says, which one? Giovanna says A, and that is correct. You debit the motor van and you credit the cash. Number 21, in Mrs. Lowe's ledger, an entry on the debit side of drawings account and an entry on the credit side of the bank account means what? Chanel. What would that mean?
D.
D as in dog?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. They use money from the bank's business bank account for personal use. That's exactly what drawings is. Good job. Number 22. Another one that comes really, really often, like real often. K Kana debtor of A and B Enterprises settles his debt of $120 less 2.5% discount by check. How should the double entry be recorded in the books of A and B Enterprises? Look, Renice is joining. I'll let Renice answer this one. Hi, Renice.
Hi, sir.
Can you answer number 22 for me?
Okay, sir. I'm ready. Let me see.
No problem. Mhm.
Sir, C.
C is correct. Always C for this one. You debit the bank account how much money you get, which is 120 minus the $3 discount, so 117. You debit discount allowed. Expenses are always debited, that's $3. And then you credit K can the full 120 because he doesn't owe that 120 anymore. Good job. Number 23. The following, the formula for calculating working capital is what? Um, JL. JL says D, and D is correct. Current assets minus current liabilities. Number 24. Refers to the following statement of financial position, and they want to know what is the total non-current assets. Gianna, can you do number 24? Gianna, just confirm that today?
Yes, I am.
Alright, let's make control. You want to need total non-current assets, so you have to pick out which one of these and non-current assets and add it up.
Is it C?
Mm-hmm. Land, motor van, and fixes and fittings. 14,600. Good job. Hope you're paying attention to all of these, huh? A lot of these questions, a lot of these same questions going to come on all the exam. Mark my words, you're going to see some of these exact questions word for word when all you write all the exam, huh? Let's see, I didn't say. Number 25, they want to know the gross profit. Now, this question in particular, this question later years, they end up breaking it up into two parts because this was kind of long. So I will do this question, right? So they want you to calculate the gross profit. First thing you'll need is your net sales. Your net sales will be sales minus sales returns. All right, so that will be the 83,868. 83,868 minus the sales returns, 1,570. And I'll give you how much? Somebody calculate that for me. Somebody calculate it for me now.
$82,298.
Now we have to calculate the cost of goods sold, which will be opening inventory or inventory at start, add purchases, less purchase returns, less closing inventory. So 9850, add 52,640 minus 762 minus 1175. Somebody calculate that one for me now.
$50,653.
50,653.
Yes, sir.
53, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now you're gonna take your net sales, 82,298, and minus 50,653 from it. And the answer you should get is 31,645. Number 26 now. Which of the following information refers to the following information supplied by the sole trader? And it said, what is the net profit percentage to the nearest whole number? So you notice it didn't give you net profit, you had to calculate it yourself. Who can calculate net profit for me here? Annalise, you can calculate net profit for me?
Yes, sir. C.
No, don't give me the answer. Calculate net
Oh,
profit for me.
okay.
Walk me through the process. How you calculating it?
Um, Net profit is gross profit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Add expenses and then you
Add
lessen.
revenue.
Add revenue and then you're taking away the expenses.
Right. So your gross profit is 12,000. Your revenue would be the discount received. You add your revenue, that is 14,000. And then you minus the expenses. That is the 3,000 for rent expense and the 4,000 from discount allowed. And that will give you a net profit of 7,000. So your net profit will be 7,000. And now to calculate the net profit percentage, it will be net profit divided by your net sales multiplied by 100. So your net profit is 7,000. Your net sales is 30,000 and you multiply that by 100. And that is how you get your C. Alright? Everybody understand and follow? Everybody follow, right? You calculate net profit first, which is your gross profit, add revenue minus expenses. And once you have your net profit, you could calculate a net profit percentage, which is net profit divided by net sales multiplied by 100. Number 27 now. They want to know the current ratio. Chanel, do you know the formula for the current ratio?
No, sir.
Anybody knows the formula for the current ratio? But they need to know their formulas, huh? Oh, by the way, I published my first book, my accounting formula and mastery book. So, you see stuff like this, and they're struggling to remember your formulas. My formula book is about to be available. I'm just awaiting the prints to get the prints physically in my hand. But it is published. So I will organize you very soon. The current ratio is current assets divided by current liabilities. And we'll actually be able to sell it for a lot cheaper than I expected before as well. So what you'll have to do is add up your current assets, which would be your inventory, your receivables, and your cash. That adds up to 1,800. 11 plus 500 is 16 plus 200, 1,800. And then you're going to divide it by your current liabilities. Your current liabilities would be the bank overdraft and the payables, which adds up to 1,100. So 1,800 divided by 1,100, and that would give you 1.636363, which you could approximate to 1.64. So the answer would be B. But you need to learn those formulas, huh? Oh, way down. Go right way down. Number 28. Jaden. On the 1st Jan 2016, 10,000 was paid towards an advertising campaign. Of this amount, 7,000 was used by December. What would be the prepayment?
3,000.
3,000, correct. Number 29. And Tanil. Depreciation in accounting terms can be defined as the Anthony, you just confirm that today? All right. Which one do you think? Which
D,
one do you
sir.
think?
D.
D, straight no, that is the, so that is our next
D.
common mistake. The people that
D,
say
sir.
D because I see formulas to do it. But that is not the
Yes, sir. D.
definition. C,
D. D as in
D,
dog. Yes,
D as
sir.
in dog, right? Right.
Yes,
So
sir.
that is the formulas to calculate depreciation. A lot of people let's do that. But that is not the answer. That is not what depreciation is. That is how to calculate it. The closest answer would actually be C. The cost of using a fixed asset for the accounting period. Okay. Number 30 now. Which of the following accounts would depreciation of office machines be transferred to? Bernice, which one do you think? Bernice, you just confirm that today? Bernice? Hmm. 1 second. One second, y'all. Alright, I'm trying to cover the call not going through. Karima? What is the answer for number 30 is Karima? Karima, just confirm that today?
Yes, I'm here.
Alright.
The answer is D.
Profit and loss account, and that is correct. Alright, it's an expense. Expenses are recorded in the profit and loss account. Good job. Number 31. The working capital of P. Young and Sons is 15,500 and current assets is 16,500. How much is current liabilities, Chanel?
Sir, A.
Correct. Because the formula for working capital is what? What's the formula for working capital?
Current assets
Mm-hmm.
minus current liabilities.
Very good. Make me so proud. So if your working capital is 15,500 and current assets is 16,500, that means 16,500 minus what will give you 15,500. And the only thing I'll fit there is the 1,000. Good job. Number 32. They want to know what is the working capital for Sherida's Limited. I mean, no working capital is current assets minus current liabilities. So we just need to know which ones here are current assets and which ones here are current liabilities. Gianna, can you tell me which ones here are current assets? Gianna, just confirm that today, please.
Yes, I am.
All right, great. And you ready? Tell me which ones here are current assets. I'll give you a hint, it have two.
Is it cash and prepaid insurance?
Correct. Cash and prepaid insurance, which adds up to 3,800. And then what will be our current liabilities then? everything else, right? That would be 200 plus 1200 plus 400, which is 1800. 3800 minus 1800 is how much?
2,000.
Correct. Boom, boom, boom. Y'all find this doable so far? Y'all find it doable? No? Yes? Maybe? A little? A lot? Or y'all find this difficult? Be honest.
Sir,
Annalise, what
it's doable.
you doable? Chanel, what you think?
Sir, it's okay once you know the information.
Okay, okay. And Gianna, what you think?
It's okay.
Okay, okay, okay. Let's look at this one here now. It refers to the following information about operating a firm. They said, what amount will be charged for the provision for doubtful debts, right? So here's the thing with provision for doubtful debts. He always record the change in provision. How much it increased by or how much it decreased by. Alright? That's why they give you the old provision. Provision on the 1st of Jan was 700. Now you have to calculate the new provision. The new provision, the rate is 2%, and you're going to use the latest account receivable, which is 25,000. So we're going to calculate 2% of 25,000, which is 500. So it was 700, and now it's 500. How much did it change by? Anybody? If it was 700 and now it's 500, how much did it change by? It changed by 200, correct? It decreased by 200. So that's what we're recording here, 200. Number 34. How does an increase in bad debts affect a sole trader's financial statement? A bad debt is an expense. If our expense is increasing, what is that effect? JL. I forget how quick JL is answer, yes. JL says C, it decreases in net profit. And that is correct. Number 35 now. A company's rent account had an opening debit balance of $200. So let's draw the account for the visual. Pretend that line straight, right? Like we just do with some of our friends. Rent balance on the debit side, 2,000. It said during the year, $6,000 was paid for rent. Rent is an expense. Expenses are always what? Debited or credited? Anybody?
Debited.
Right. So that 6,000 will go on the debit side as well. At the end of the year, it had a closing debit balance of 1,500. If the balance brought down is on the debit side, that means the balance carried down is on the credit side. So my balance carried down is 1,500. What's missing is the amount that is recorded as expense for the year, the amount that is transferred to the income statement, which will be here. And that amount is what will make both sides equal. So what number is missing here that would make both of these sides equal? Anybody can answer? Don't you all rush at once?
So 6,500.
6,500, correct. Number 36. Again, remember, we only record the change in provision for doubtful debts. That will save you a lot of headache when you're trying to figure out the answer. He said M. Brown wishes to increase the provision for doubtful debts from 8% to 10%. Accounts receivable at the end of the year total 10,000, while the balance of any provision for bad debts account is presently 800. Which of the following entries would be correct to record any provision for the year? So we have to calculate. We have to calculate the change. It is now 10%. Receivables is 10,000. 10% of 10,000 is 1,000. It was 800, now it's 1,000. How much did it change by?
200.
Exactly. So without even knowing the double entry rules, what would the answer be?
D.
Exactly. All right. So see how that save you a lot of headache? You don't have to even know the double entry. It's the only answer that has 200. All right. But if you need to know the double entry, if your provision for doubtful debts is increasing, it goes on the credit side. So in this case, it increased by 200. So your credit provision for doubtful debts 200. If your provision for doubtful debts is decreasing, then you debit. All right? Think of your provision accounts as the opposite of asset accounts. When assets increase your debit, when assets decrease your credit, provision accounts are the opposite to that, right? Number 37, they're asking about the accumulated fund. The accumulated fund is the non-profit organization's version of capital, and it's calculated the same way. Assets minus liabilities will give capital. In this instance, however, in this list here, there is no liabilities. So the accumulated fund would just be all the assets added together, which will give you D, 9,897. Number 38 now. A. Jones, by mistake, debited C. Hall's account instead of F. Hall. Which of the following corrects this mistake? Anthony, you think you could do this one?
No, sir.
Take a guess now. Is one of these answers A, B, C, or D? You debit C. Hall instead of F. Hall.
B, sir.
Which one?
B.
Boy?
Yes, sir.
So close. It's actually C. One letter away. So I debit C. Hall's account by accident, right? Again, pretend that straight. C. Hall, F. Hall. I debit C. Hall's account by mistake. So right now I have a debit balance of 500 in C. Hall's account. To correct this, what I can do is credit C. Hall for credit C. Hall, it will cancel out this transaction because my balance will now be 0. And then I'll debit C. Hall F. Hall, where it was supposed to be in the first place. So I debit F. Hall to put it where it's supposed to be, and then I credit C. Hall to cancel out the error. So the answer will be C. A good try. Number 39. This is a statement of financial position. This side here is the assets. This side here is the liabilities plus the capital. Your assets is supposed to be equal to your liabilities plus your capital. So both sides are supposed to be equal. With that in mind, Giovanna, with that in mind, Giovanna, how much should one be? Giovanna, just confirm that today, please. Oh, you more than confirm that today. Okay, your answer.
Sir?
Good job. Berenice, you back?
Yes, sir, I told you.
Oh, okay. Because I was trying to call you before. Because I was calling on you before.
Oh,
So you do number 40 actually. So 39 and 40 refers to the following statement of financial position. We know this side is your assets and this side is your liabilities plus capital. They want to know which of the following account would represent this number 2. Would this be loan, cash, capital, or liability? Which one do you think?
sir, capital.
Capital is correct. So you have 20 more questions and we finish. Number 21 refers to the information related to Harvard Sports Club on 2019. They have the number of members, the annual subscriptions, the subscriptions owing at the beginning of the year, and the subscriptions owing at the end of the year. I will do this one. I want you all to follow along with me, right? They want to know what is the total subscriptions collected for the year. So let's see. We start off with 450 owing. Let's calculate how much we're supposed to collect first. We start off with 450 owing. So we're supposed to collect that, right? Because that owing at the start of the year, they had to pay us that. And then on top of that, we have 50 members, and the annual subscription is $50. So each of those members supposed to pay us $50, which is $2,500. So we have 450 owing to us, plus we're supposed to collect $2,500. So in total, we're supposed to collect $2,950. That's how much we're supposed to collect. But at the end of the year, we have 150 owing, which means we collected everything here except that 150 that's still owing. So in total, we actually collected 2,800. Y'all understand how I got it? You want me to do it again or y'all understand? Does the silence mean? Yes, sir, we understand. You're the greatest teacher known to
Understand,
mankind.
sir.
All right. Good. All right. So I calculated how much I was supposed to collect, and then I calculated how much I actually collected. Number 42. Mr. Miguel's capital on the 1st of January was 40,000, and on the 31st was 85,000. He withdrew 1,000 in inventory. What is his net profit? A question like this comes just about every year. You need to know this formula. Opening capital, and you're supposed to know this formula either way because you need this formula for your balance sheet. Add net profit minus drawings equals closing capital. You're supposed to know this formula for your balance sheet. Right. Your opening capital, according to this, the capital that is 1st of Jan is 40,000. Your net profit is what we don't know because we need to calculate that, right? Your drawings is the 1,000 you withdrew, and that's supposed to be equal to your closing capital, which is 85,000. Let's do some algebra. First thing I'm going to do is take the 40,000 and minus the 1,000. So that'll leave me with 39,000 plus net profit is equal to 85,000. So 39,000 plus what will give me 85,000, boy? I know I'm going to take that 39,000 and put it on the next side. So it becomes negative. So I'll have 85,000 minus 39,000. 85,000 minus 39,000 would give me 46,000, if I'm not mistaken. And that would be my answer, B. Number 43, partnership question. They want to know what would be Z's share of the profit. Jaden, can you try that one? Let me know what you're thinking. Do it, Jaden. Miss confirm that today first.
Yes, sir. Is it A?
Which one?
A?
A, 2400.
Yes, sir.
All right. Nice. So what I would recommend, simple thing. Shoop, boop. So we're just using 3, 2, 1, and 3. So Z would be 3. To change the ratio into a fraction, you use the 3 for Z as the numerator, and you add up all the other numbers to get the denominator. 3 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1, which adds up to 9. So that'll be 3 nines, or 1/3. And you multiply that by the 7200, and that's how much Z is getting. Good job. Number 44. Which of the following accounts shows how profits and losses are shared among partners? Which account do we use that for, Gianna? Any idea?
Appropriation.
The appropriation account is used to share profits. Good job. Number 45. Mr. Smith does not keep proper records. Shame on you, Mr. Smith. He began his business with $10,000 in the bank. He uses his vehicle and building with $6,000 and $15,000 respectively as part of his business. Customers owe him $4,000. He withdrew $1,500 for personal use and owed suppliers $2,000. What is his closing capital? His closing capital. So we're going to calculate his capital first. And we know capital is assets minus liabilities. So let's see if we can make out the assets. The money in the bank account, would that be an asset or liability? Anybody? As a matter of fact, I can pick somebody to help.
Assets.
Annalise. Good. Asset. Vehicle and building, assets or liabilities? Annalise.
Assets.
Assets. Customers owed him 4,000. What's that?
Assets.
Asset. He withdrew 1,500 for personal use. What would you call that?
Drawings.
Drawings. So paying a D by that one. And he owed suppliers 2,000. What would that be?
Liability.
Liability. Good. So we have that down. We're going to calculate capital first by adding up all our assets and minusing our liability. So we'll have 10,000 plus 6,000 plus 15,000 plus 4,000, and that will give us 35,000. And then we minus the liability, we will get 33,000. Is that our answer, Annalise?
No, sir.
No, it's not. What do we have to do next to get our closing capital?
Less drawings.
Minus drawings. So it'll be the 33,000 minus the 1,500, and that will give us 31,500. 1 second, guys. Give me. All right, sorry about that. That is correct. Number 46. Which of the following features is associated with a private limited company? This does come real often. Giovanna, handle that one for me. Which one of these associated with a private? Answer already. Giovanna says B, and that is correct. A lot of people just get the chain up and say A. They are family owned. It does not have to be family owned. I could thank you. I could start a private business with a friend. But what is that shares are not sold publicly. All right. Now, 47, sorry. Capital at the start of the trading period was 20,000. And at the end, 22,000. Net profit of 6,500. How much was withdrawn from the period? Again, we need to know the same formula. Opening capital, add net profit, minus drawings, equals closing capital. It is important that we know this formula. You need it for your balance sheet. You may see how often it does come in a multiple choice. It comes every year. In some form or fashion. Okay. In this case, opening capital is 20,000. They gave us net profit. What we don't have is the drawings. And that gives us closing capital of 22,500. First thing I'm going to do is add that 20,000 and that 6,500. So I have 26,500 plus minus drawing, sorry, gives me 22,500. And from there, I could calculate drawings. 26,500 minus what would give me 22,500? Chanel.
B, 4,000.
Mm-hmm. Correct. Number 48. Antonil, can you do this one for me? If there's no deed of partnership, the amount of profits to be received by each partner will be what?
Sorry.
Say that again? N equals share, correct. Number 49. What is the inventory at the end of Jan? So there's a next formula you need to know. A cost of goods sold formula. Open an inventory. Add net purchases. Minus closing inventory equals a cost of goods sold. You know, a opening inventory, 1,500. The net purchases is 1,200. We don't know what closing inventory is. That's what we need to figure out. And we know it's equal to a cost of goods sold of 1,400. First thing I'm going to do again, add opening inventory plus net purchases, 1,500 plus 1,200 is 2,700. Minus closing inventory will give me 1400, my cost of goods sold. 2700 minus what? Will give me 1400. Bernice.
Sir,
Mm-hmm. Which
can
one?
you,
Which one?
what is it, sir?
What will be closing inventory in this case? 2700 minus what will give you 1400? A, B, C, or D?
Okay.
Which one?
So I'm with my pen.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you wasn't listening?
It was breaking up.
Okay, okay. So we need to calculate closing inventory. To do that, we're going to use our cost of goods sold formula. We know opening inventory plus net purchases minus closing inventory is equal to cost of goods sold. We have opening inventory, which is 1500. We have net purchases, which is 1200. We don't know what closing inventory is, but we know it's supposed to add up to 1400. Opening inventory plus net purchases is 2700. 2700 minus our closing inventory will give us cost of goods sold of 1400.
Yeah, 27 plus what equal 1200, you say?
2700 minus closing inventory is supposed to equal 1400. You need to know how much, you need to figure out how much closing inventory is. So 2700 minus what will give you 1400?
Yeah, 1300.
Mm-hmm. This question has come kind of often. Number 50. Which one of these, Karima, is not recorded in the appropriation account for a partnership? Karima, just acknowledge that you're there. All right, JL. Which one of these is not recorded in the appropriation account for a partnership? JL says C, and that's correct. We record interest on drawings, not drawings. All right. We reached the final 10. Number 51 is a maths question. We said the company declares a dividend of 15% on 1,500 $1 bills, $1 shares. How much would that be? You just need to take 15% of 1,500, and that'll give you 225. Mm-hmm. Number 52. Pretty long, but I'll do it. And you'll follow. Make sure and follow. You basically have to do the appropriation account. So the first thing you'll have to do is calculate the share profits. There's three adjustments you make to the net profit, any profit and loss appropriation account. Yeah, add interest on drawings. Not drawings, interest on drawings. You minus interest on capital. And you minus any salaries or bonuses. And that will give you your profits to be shared. So I'll start off with my net profit of 23,500. I would add interest on drawings, which would be the 45 and the 15. I would minus interest on capital, which would be the 2,000 and the 1,000. And then I'll minus the salaries for Jean, 2,500. And that will leave me with 18,060. And then to use the ratio now, could you set it shared at a ratio of 3 to 2 respectively, which means the 3 is for Jane and the 2 is for Mary. I'm going to change that into a fraction by taking the 3 for Mary and putting it over the total amount of the numbers, which is 3 plus 2, 5. Total value of the numbers, sorry. So it'll be 3/5 multiplied by that 18,060. And that will give me 10,836. So the answer will be B. Almost finished. 53 now. Chanel, I wanted to try 53 for me. But we'll do it together, right?
Okay, sir.
Mm-hmm. So they said P. Amos is employed by a construction company at a rate of $7 per hour. Slavery. During the week of the 6th of April, he worked his basic week of 40 hours. So if you work 40 hours at $7 per hour, what's the total amount of money he earned?
That's 280, sir.
40 by 7, which is 280. But that's not the money he taking home. Because he had to pay income tax, which is $20. What would I do with that 20? Add it or subtract it?
Subtract it.
So minus tax. So after he pay that 20, he now have 260. And then he had to pay Social Security, which is 5% of his gross pay. How much is his gross pay again?
280?
280, right? His gross pay is his pay before deductions. So he has to pay 5% of his gross pay, which is 14. I have to minus that as well, right?
Yes, sir.
So what would be his net pay then?
That would be a 246.
Correct. Good job. 54. What is the maximum capital of a company can raise from selling shares? What do you call it? Gianna.
Is it C?
Correct. The authorized capital. The issued is the amount you actually issue, but the authorized is the amount you're allowed to sell. The maximum you're allowed to sell. Good job. One second, y'all. Just 1 second, huh? Sorry, yeah? All right. Number 55 refers to the following table. They want to know if it's fully subscribed, how much you raise? 200,000 by 2, 400,000. 10,000 by 5 is 50,000. 400,000 plus 50,000, 450,000. 5 more. The cost, the opening inventory of raw materials added to your net purchases of raw materials will give you a cost of raw materials available for use. It's like cost of goods available for sale. Opening inventory plus net purchases gives you cost of goods available for sale. Opening inventory of raw materials plus net purchases of raw materials gives you cost of raw materials available for use. 47. Anthony, you can do this one for me with me, I should say.
Yes, sir.
All right. So they said income tax is 25% on every dollar above 2,000 of the monthly salary and 30% overtime. They want to know the total income tax to be deducted from Tarisha Ali. So the monthly salary is 3,500, and they said 25% of every dollar above 2,000. How much money above 2,000 is there for the 3,500? What you could do is just subtract it. 3,500 minus 2,000 will give you how much?
The answer is, uh, sir, the answer is C.
No. You're not looking at the answer yet. Just answer that question I asked you. They said we have to pay tax, which is 25% of every dollar above 2,000 of the monthly salary. The monthly salary is 3,500. So we're trying to figure out how much money above 2,000 in the monthly salary. That will be 3,500 minus 2,000. 3,500 minus 2,000 is how much? $3,500 minus 2,000.
Sir, 1,500.
500, correct. So we're going to be 25% of that 1,500. That'll be the first set of tax they paid. So that 1,500 will be how much they have above the monthly salary. So you take 1,500, multiply that by 25%, and that will give us 375. But that's not all the tax they said. They also said 30% on overtime earned. How much overtime was earned? According to the question. How much is the overtime? You could write it. You see that? Anthony, you seen the overtime under the monthly salary?
No, sir, I'm not seeing it.
Right after monthly salary, 3,500. Underneath it, you see overtime, 800. You seen it now?
Yes, sir.
All right, so the overtime will be 800, and they said be paying 30% tax on that. 30% of 800 would be 240. So the total tax we pay would be the 375 plus the 240. And that would be A, 615.
Yes, sir.
All right. Number 58. Which of the following items is not considered a source document for payroll, Jaden? Jaden, just confirm it there.
Yes, it's number 50.
Yeah, number 58. Which one of those it cannot use to track the person's attendance?
B.
B, correct. Medical certificate. The clock card, attendance register, and the electronic card could all be used to calculate how much hours the person work, so you could use it to calculate the pay, not the medical certificate. Number 59, they want to know is the balance as per bank statement. When you're doing bank reconciliation, to calculate the bank statement balance, it's a cash book balance, add unpresented checks, minus late lodgements. And that gives you a bank statement balance. So that would be 560. Add the unpresented checks of 120. Minus the late lodgements of 150. And that would give us a bank statement balance of 530. And then last but not least, the net profit of a firm was shown as 1,600. It was later discovered that discount received was undercast by 10 and purchases was understated by 36. What is the correct net profit? Annalise, do this one with me, please. Let's confirm that today.
Yes, sir.
All right. So we're starting off with our $1,600 net profit. Discount received was undercast by 10. To calculate net profit, is discount received added or subtracted? Is that revenue?
Subtracted.
When you're doing your net profit after you get your gross profit, the next part is the add revenue and minus expenses to get your net profit. So discount received is normally added, right?
Okay.
If it's undercast by 10, that means we added too much or too little. If it's undercast.
Added too little.
All right. So to fix that, we're going to add the 10. Now, purchases. Do we add purchases or subtract purchases when calculating our profit?
Subtract.
If it was understated by 36, did we subtract too much or too little?
Too much.
Understated,
Oh,
which means we subtracted too little, right?
mm-hmm.
So we're going to have to subtract the 36 to make up for it. So 1,600 plus 10 is 1,610 minus 36 will give us 1,574. So the answer will be E. And that is it. Or you get 4 whole minutes extra for yourself. Yay. But that is all, you're welcome back to class. From next week, we're hitting the ground running, finishing out some topics. When I have any marathons, I'll let you all know. Think I'm gonna make it mandatory that you'll attend the marathon. But you don't have to stay for the whole thing, right? Because it'll be like 6 hours long. But yeah, that's it for class. Welcome back. All the best for the new year.
Thank you, and the same to you, sir.
All right, have a good one, guys.
Thank you, sir. Happy New Year. Goodbye.
Bye.